Let's get back to the program. And this issue of big tech censorship and the voice debate. Joining me now, Deputy Executive Director of the Institute of Public Affairs, Daniel Wild. Daniel, I wanted to talk to you today, given last week you were on the program, you talked about how the work of the IPA, analysis work on issues like the relationship or the comparison of the PM's voice proposal to what we're seeing in New Zealand with the Maori Waitangi Tribunal that now has veto power over legislation. You've done some analysis on that. You put it out there for people to see and read and learn ahead of our vote here in Australia. Of course, that's now been censored by Facebook and criticised by both the ABC and RMIT's so-called fact check. I think the same things happened to discussions last week on this program about the full 26-page Uluru statement, the statement that wants treaties and land reform and compensation as a percentage of GDP, all of that. This is what we've got to look forward to, I guess, as Australians, given this misinformation, disinformation game that's going on around the voice, is what the Prime Minister now wants to lock into legislation if the Parliament is stupid enough to vote for it.
Well, that's right, Peter. I think you've done a very important public service in uncovering these extra documents of the Uluru Statement from the Heart to better inform Australians about the potential impact and the true radical nature of what is being proposed under the voice to Parliament. And of course, whether it's one page or the length of the document is a part of it. But of course, it goes to the secretive nature, the lack of transparency of the government and the Yes campaign, their unwillingness to have proper information and a proper debate about the Voice to Parliament proposal. And as you rightly identified, this is taking place under the spectre of the government's proposed misinformation laws, which would be the greatest attack on political communication in Australia in peacetime history. What it would mean is that the government could put out whatever information it wanted to. It would be protected from its own laws. But if you wanted to criticise what the government's doing, mainstream Australians would be captured under those laws. And as you've identified before, it would empower unelected, unaccountable Star Chamber bureaucrats in the Australian Communication and Media Authority to define what the truth is. Because ultimately it would be ACMA that decides whether or not big tech is censoring information in the appropriate way, which means ACMA would be deciding what the truth is, what misinformation is. And as we've seen over recent years, everything from COVID to climate, the official definition of the truth can change every single day. And there's no way Australians could ever comply with these draconian laws.
It was crazy. I listened to FM radio today and there was a transcript. The Prime Minister said that basically, you know, people like me are making it up. Conspiracy theorists last week. Now I'm a fantasist, I suppose. But what is at the heart of what we discussed last week with the Australian people is the fact that all I'm doing is showing him and showing the Australian people a government document from the PM's own National Indigenous Agency. They've been forced to release it by FOI. I didn't write it. I don't know where it came from beyond the government department. They issued it. I've just picked it up. And the other thing is, you know, the RMIT fact checkers, they say, well, we've got Pat Anderson, who was involved in the Uluru process, out there saying it's a one-pager. We've got Megan Davis saying it's a one-pager. Sure, you had them say that on Wednesday, but for 6 years, both these Aboriginal leaders have said it's not one page. It's 18, 20, 26 pages long. They've implored Australians to read the detail. And of course, when you do read the detail, you realise it means reparations and compensation and a percentage of GDP. And it's a highly emotional, angry document. Any wonder the PM wants it buried.
Well, that's right, Peter. You've identified something important, which is what the voice would really mean. And of course, the purpose of the voice is to be a counterparty to a treaty, because you can't have a treaty with several hundred entities at one time. So the purpose of the voice is to be a counterparty to a treaty. And one of the reasons they want to have a treaty is those such as Professor Marsha Langdon, who co-authored the Karma Langdon report, has said Australia's constitution is racist. So they don't want to change the constitution. They would like to nullify the constitution, and the treaty would become Australia's second Constitution. That is really the intent and the purpose behind the Voice to Parliament. And as you say, Peter, that's one of the key reasons why they're censoring this information, because they know when Australians learn about it, they don't like it.
Talk to me about Qantas today. They've got their Yes campaign material on the fuselage of a number of planes. But we've only just had polling that says 44% of Australians think big companies shouldn't campaign on this issue of the Voice. They should stick way out of it. They think it should be left to the Australian people. Around, I think it is 29% say, OK, fair enough, they campaign, but 44% say no way. This could well work against the Yes campaign, couldn't it?
Yeah, it certainly could do, Peter. I think Australians have had a gutful of being lectured to by big corporates. Qantas is not the most popular company at the moment. The prices are going up. The quality of service is going down. Customers are sick of having the welcome to country every time they land somewhere. And now yet more money is going to be put behind this campaign, on top of the money being funneled in by big corporates like Wesfarmers and so forth in the middle of a cost of living crisis. So I agree with you. This could work against the Yes campaign, and Australians are sick and tired of this intervention by corporates and big tech, and just want to be left alone to figure it out for themselves.
Daniel Wild, thank you.